behind where I thought we'd be when we kicked off tonight. A smidge. So when we left off, you all had just entered the Vestani camp. The children had come and swarmed you and taken your good boy away to play. Satori returned Cedric's hand and the remains of the doll that Garvin had collected from the house with some relatively useful new upgrades. And you all went about your business checking out what the shops had to offer. Before you did that, Nyx offered some rations up as an offering to his patron before receiving a new spell in the form of the Shadow Garrote spell. Cedric found himself a new cloak, which will help keep him a little less squishy. Garvin got a new cloak for Reggie, his little animated doll. And Aurora found herself a brand new bow, which mysteriously appeared not long after you all left this camp the previous time.
I got it for a really good price too.
And as Satori runs off to play with the kids her own age, Garvin finds himself a little short on holy water. So, hopefully, nothing bad happens today. So we pick up where we left off with Aurora and Enith still over at the blacksmith tent, and the boys finishing up with the tailor. Nyx has left his cloak behind to get some much needed repairs after getting put on his ass a few times in the recent combats. And you all hear the distinct sound of heavy breathing and metalwork coming from the wagon just to the north of you. What would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna rejoin the party.
Yeah. And eventually we need to see Madame Ava.
I was about to reference that because we're done at the tailor unless we want to see what's up in that. Wait, didn't we check out what was in the cart above us last night?
You did not.
Alright, well let's go gander about there real quick before we go talk to Madame Ava.
Sounds good.
Okay, so
It's our friend.
as you approach the wagon just to your north, the door to the wagon suddenly bursts open with a bunch of smoke billowing out. And out comes an older looking gnome gentleman with long gray hair and a gray beard. He has soot covering his face and dark, worn leather gloves on.
Well, good on day, good sir. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Got a little overzealous with some chemicals in there.
You gotta be careful. It seems like you got a little smoked out like a good fish. Oh.
You're an interesting sort.
Oh, well, thank you. I try to be at times.
As you all look him over, you can tell that he is not wearing the normal brightly colored vestments of the Vestani people. He does not appear to be one of them. He just seems to be traveling with them.
Can we inquire about what he was doing inside? With what works? Heard some loud, labored breathing and some metalworking.
My name is Nicholas. I'm a metal worker and alchemist by trade.
Oh, well, hello. I'm Nyx.
And I guess we're just gonna stand here awkwardly waiting to be introduced. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, you're not even going to
You're just
introduce
all
me, brother? What the
standing there
fuck?
silent. You're
I
just...
was gonna say this is my party, but I mean, I didn't think I need to introduce everybody.
So,
I'm waiting for my introduction. Then how do you how you going to sell me to other people?
Well, I mean, we just gotta get back to the dude that wants your arm, and I mean, we can sell you pretty good.
Bruh. Alright.
So were you saying that out loud just now?
My character was,
Which
yes.
part?
I was asking Nix about the arm.
Nah, that's fucked up. I wouldn't do that to my buddy.
So as you all stand here awkwardly, Nicholas kind of gives you all a once over. He can clearly tell that you are not the standard adventuring party with the different races that you all are. As he looks you all over, his attention glows as it passes over both Garbin and Cedric before quickly moving away. I think I need to let my wagon air out a little bit before I get back to work. Was there anything that you all were looking for? You seem to be approaching my wagon in pretty good speed there.
We just wanted to see if you had any wares for sale, my good sir. And I don't think we've come across any gnomes, so I just wanted to chat to you about your people and where you hail from.
Well, where I hail from's not super important now that I'm here in Barovia, so don't really focus on that all that much.
I guess that is fair.
One should always remember home.
Yeah.
But I was originally born in the city of Waterdeep, if that means anything to you.
Waterdeep. Oh, they got great ports. I remember going there one time. Great bars. Great bars.
Listen, buddy. Oh.
He kind of just grins at you as you make the comments. Great bars they do have. I'm saying plenty of people of magical means to be interested in my wares. But now I'm here and don't really have much motivation to do anything fancy.
Oh, well, what type of fancy work can you do? We might be of an interest of some sort.
Well, I make potions. I've recently helped restock the general store over yonder. They seem to have been facing some problems lately. And then I make jewelry. And I know enough about magic to do some enchanting here and there.
ooh,
Oh.
you're exactly who I wanted to talk to. I have some jewelry that I would like you to look at and possibly enchant.
So he holds out his hands
Oh.
to give you a chance to show the jewelry to him.
I have 4 pieces of fine jewelry and 7 pieces of cheap jewelry. So I'm guessing like the cheap jewelry would just be like cheap gold.
Say, well, this is definitely finely made. It's not of a quality that is good enough to be enchanted. Typically, when you're wanting to enchant jewelry, you have to make it with that express purpose. This here was just made to be flashy to get people's attention at court.
Offside.
Typically, if you're wanting to enchant jewelry, you have to make it with that express purpose, specifically mix the metals and stuff together in the right proportions so that it actually conducts magic and holds the spell. So while this is great jewelry, not a whole lot that I can do with it, unless you're wanting to melt it down.
Can I melt down the cheap jewelry into like gold bars or something?
I mean, with the cheap jewelry, you're probably better off just selling it. With the impurities that are likely in there, you're not going to get a whole lot out of it.
Fair.
I inquire about any jewelry that is able to enhance your defensive capabilities. Armor class.
You're probably talking about like rings of protection and the like. I don't have any right now. I seem to have blown up a good chunk of the supplies that I would need to do those kinds of enchantments. So,
I got rid of that silver goblet. I could have probably had him melt it down and make one.
as I definitely have the jewelry and the metal supplies for it, but the alchemical supplies to make it conduct the necessary magics, yeah, those all kind of just went poof.
Ooh,
Well, you
in
wouldn't
the
have to need
incident.
anybody to go get you some stuff, would you?
I mean, we're going to be leaving probably in the next 24 hours to head up towards Valaki. I might be able to get some supplies there.
Oh, we will
You
see
said the
you
caravan's
there.
leaving soon?
Yeah,
Well, have you all been with the Vestani before?
We visited, and I
we've
was
been
going to
here a
ask how
time.
you came along with them.
So the Vestani are constantly moving around. This here's one of the few camps that is stationary for them to consistently visit as they make their routes. So you'll probably notice the people here change quite a bit as they make their routes between camps.
Okay, so most of the camp is going to stay. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so a lot of the children will be heading up back to Kresk probably within the next day or so.
Okay, all righty. Well, that's good to know. Well, how did a connoisseur of the magical arts like you end up with a Vestani? Especially from Waterdeep at that.
Well, I mean, I was out on with some adventurers and landed here in Barovia, and that party didn't fare well, and I had to find a new place to call home. And with the way a lot of the locals here in Barovia are, it's usually best to keep moving.
This is true. Well, if you find yourself ever wanting to follow another group of adventurers, you just let us know, my good sir. And then if not, we will see you in the next town.
And say I think that I've been around adventurers enough. Um, Dealt with the whole being scared for my life on a daily basis. I think I'll stick with the comfort of the wagons.
That's true. We've had some botanical problems of late. So
He
I
just
do
gives
not
you a
blame you.
grin and shakes his head.
Indeed. Well, if that is all, I will bid you a good day, and we will see you next time. As we
Well,
make
it's
our way
been
over. Go ahead.
nice meeting you. I'm gonna go get myself some water, and hopefully my wagon will be done airing out by the time I'm done.
I will say, you are
Well,
heading over to Crest, right?
Sorry, I farted.
fucking tired.
Yeah, okay. You are headed over to Crest, right?
Well, I will be heading up to Valaki, but I'll probably be heading over towards Kresk eventually as well.
If we do happen to run into you again, is there anything you would need that maybe is a little more dangerous to get a hold of?
To get
Anything we
some
should look
better
out for?
wares.
Nothing that I can think of. There's a pretty decent monster hunter in Valaki who gets me most of my supplies.
Yeah, I just figured I'd ask.
And then There are some herb gardens and such in Crest, with it being at the foot of the mountains, and some sacred water and such that are there as well that I use for some of my concoctions.
All right. Well, you be well, and we will see you next time.
He makes a deep bow and starts waddling off towards the river to wash his face.
I nod as we head over to Madame Ava's tent.
Okay, so you all heading over to Madame Ava's?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
where I wanted to go originally.
Okay, so as you all start making your way, I need who is going first? Like, what's the marching order as you guys are walking over there?
I'll take dead center.
Well,
I'll go second.
I
I'll be in
want,
the middle.
I want the end.
I'll go first, I suppose.
Okay, so Nyx and Garbin, I need you both to make me perception check. Okay. So we're not rolling like we did last night. Nick, you don't notice shit.
I got a
I'm
16
looking down at the
total.
ground. Thought I seen
With this
something on my shoes.
with the 16 Garbin, you can clearly see just a little to the north of you and a little to the west of Madame Ava's tent. Arena is sitting there with her feet in the river, just kind of staring off into the distance. And you can hear the sound of the children off to the west, sounding like they are likely over by the tents where you all stayed last time you were here. But nothing of note that you need to worry about. Your divine sense didn't pick anything up as you entered town, so nothing of demonic or evil origins that you have to worry about.
I am gonna go ahead call over to Arena and Arena, you all right over there? Ah! Ah!
As you do, she kind of looks over her shoulder and does like a dismissive wave before going back to watching the water.
All right, well, she's lost cause. All right.
So as you all come into Madame Ava's tent, she is busying herself with packing up bundles of what looks like dried herbs and such into traveling pouches and moving about her tent in a hurry. It looks a lot more organized than it did the last time you were here with the when Garbin was dealing with the magic that she used on him. But she still has the large, what looks like a crystal ball in the corner, and the fire pit in the middle of her tent.
So what I'm
Going
picking up is
somewhere.
Madame Ava is cooking up that crank.
I was gonna say, what seems to be the matter to put you in such a rush?
The matter? No, no, no. I just want to make sure that I have everything in order for everyone who's leaving tomorrow. They are needing some healing herbs and such up in Balaki, and I had some extra supplies that I'm sending with them.
Oh. Well, do you need any help before we ask any questions?
Before
I
I ask
also
any questions?
No, ask her if she needs help sorting stuff before we ask about the cards. Because who has the cards? Or did they turn to ash and blow away?
Aurora has the box, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
I have
No,
the box and the sending stone, don't I?
Yeah, you have the box, the sending stone, and all the ashes that were cards.
I look at Aurora and ask her to hand Madame Ava the box so she can inspect it. And then we reference the murder house and what had happened during that sequence of events. And when we came out, Strahd ambushed us and turned those cards into cinders. And we didn't get to find out why, but we have a suspicion that it could have helped us in slaying him.
By the way, can I ask a favor? If I'm
Above table?
no. Like as a character, can I go ahead and
Alright.
send Reggie over to make sure Arena's guarded? I don't trust her just off in the distance.
Yeah. So as you send him off, I'll put him on the map for you. As you send him off, you get a flash of an image in your head of him sitting in the sand next to her.
I was just thinking, wouldn't Toby be able to get a perception check?
Toby's
'Cause
not with you.
I was talking about like danger or something approaching because we're in like friendly terms with all these people here.
You
So
say
we
he
should
didn't seem off in any way.
Alright, I just wanted to make sure. Alright, now
So
back to
about
the
our guest
box
of honor.
situation.
Which guest of honor?
Arena.
What about her?
We kind of need help sheltering her.
Madame Ava looks at you quizzically. Sheltering her from what? And for what reason?
Well, you know, there's this boogeyman that's been causing us problems, and we just really want to piss him off by taking his lover.
She kind of raises an eyebrow. Boogeyman?
I
What
think
have you all been getting into since you left?
I fondly refer to Strahd as the boogeyman because he just only seems to be a nightmare to me nowadays.
I just shake my head thinking back to the events we've gone through the past couple of nights.
She kind of looks back and forth between all of you. You've met him.
Oh yeah.
Met him, I've
And
been
you're
here
still
slept with him.
alive.
Few occasions. Slept with him. I look over at him. What?
I ignore his gaze and continue talking to Madame Ava.
I'm intrigued to hear how you're all still alive after running into him.
Well, let's say I haven't been
That is
walking
what
right the
we've
past
come
few
here.
days.
We actually have a wheelchair outside. He's
Determination.
just now feeling better.
I still got a few rocks in my boot, let's say.
But no, that's why we came here. We got an item from a house we went to, and when we got ambushed by Strahd, he burned it. So we wanted to ask if you could see anything about it that may be familiar to yourself.
So, as she takes the box from you, you said you found this in a house?
We did.
A house that burns down and reforms itself every other day.
And they really did not want us to find it.
Our hosts were very gracious, though. They gave us quite a warm welcome.
She kind of gives you a side eye with that comment before putting her attention back to the box. Now, why would this have been there?
What's in the box?
Do you know what it is? Possibly, hopefully, no heads.
And you said that he took the box from you and destroyed its content?
Indeed, and then gave us back the box for some reason, which I figured he would have taken the box too, but I think he tried to shun us with it and dissuade us from pursuit.
He starts looking over the box. Have you talked to someone else about this recently?
Not yet. We haven't, right? Above table?
Sandra.
I was gonna say we talked to the woman in the black market area.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't remember. I apologize.
I say this definitely feels like someone else's magic has been trying to work on it recently.
You would have
We
to know
tried
an
to.
old seer from the black market depths of Barovia.
Tail?
Yeah.
Yeah, Barovia. Huh? Huh?
Well, we
So
try to
she's
have her inspect it. Go
so
ahead.
she's still alive.
Indeed.
She
Trying
gives
to.
a sly grin at all of you before putting her eyes back to the box. Would have thought she would have done kicked the bucket by now. Not that she could see it.
I mean, you could say the same thing for all of us, but we're still kicking too.
Uh-huh.
She regards you all one at a time. I feel like there have been some close calls, though. Some of you smell like the grave a little bit.
I think all of us have set one foot in at a time or two past evenings.
And to be fair, have we actually taken the time to bathe or anything this entire campaign?
I don't know about anybody else, but it smells aggressively with limestone in here.
As she finishes passing her glance over all of you, her glance stops to regard you, Aurora. Something seems off about you, young one. You seem both here and not here at the same time.
Why does everybody keep telling me that?
You're stuck in a fucking time loop on that hanging thing.
I was gonna say we did see the gallows, and were we all told about what they saw?
I don't know. Cedric,
You had
did you
asked
tell them
about
about
him?
what you saw?
I'll have a remembrance of the weapon I picked up from the gallows.
Uh-huh.
And as the idea sparks me, I want to present it to Madame Ava and see if she has any idea of what's up with it.
So you're handing her that rusted short sword?
Yeah.
She kind of looks at you. What use do I have with an old rusted sword?
It's not so much the sword itself, it's where I found the sword. We came across a gallows on our trips back to the camp at which we saw, or at which I saw Aurora in her former form hanging in the gallows.
Was this all that you found there?
I want to glance at Aurora to see if she offers up her weapon.
Sure.
Also, I have a question above table. Were you saying that in a meaning to deceive her, or did you just honestly forget that it was actually Aurora's current form that was hanging from the rope?
I forgot it was the current form, to be honest.
Yeah, it was not her Warforged form. It was her current Water Genasi form that was swinging from the rope.
Yeah, that's what I meant then. I apologize.
I just want to check, because otherwise I'm going to need a deception roll. As Aurora, as you go to hand her your dagger, as you place it into her hand, you feel a spark.
I feel what?
A spark, like static electricity.
Ooh. Okay, interesting.
And you found these on the gallows after apparently having a hallucination?
I wouldn't want to say it was a hallucination. It felt a little too real.
Not only
Like,
that, I mean,
we
the
all
sword
had
is
like a
an exact
mirage.
replica, isn't it?
we all had the same walk through the gallows, other than my venture off.
Yeah.
But
So
I
I
mean, the
doubt it
sword
was
is
a
an
mass
exact
hallucination.
replica of what she's got.
What was that, Garvin?
It's an exact replica of what she has originally, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
the
but
dagger.
rusted.
You guys haven't seen the sword yet. He only showed you the dagger when you guys were at the gallows.
Okay, well,
Fair.
the dagger.
The dagger is an exact duplicate of her current dagger, except it's rusted to hell.
Can we show Ava that one?
Yeah, she has both of them on her table.
Like I'm like slamming at it, but it's an exact replica. Look at it. Look at it.
I'll just pat Garvin on the back as I nod in agreement.
Her eyes glow white a little as she starts to cast a spell over the two weapons. Huh. This sword seems to. It has, or did have, radiant, like divine energy going through it. Girl, have you ever made a pact with a god?
Yes.
She pulls what looks like a silvery powder out of a jar that she has on her table and spreads it over the sword. And about a foot above the sword appears a illusion that both looks like this sword and doesn't. It looks like this sword as if it didn't have any rest on it, and the blade appears to be made out of liquid metal.
Hmm.
So it has a fine golden hilt and a blue liquid metal blade.
I'm gonna sound crazy.
Interesting.
Can you put your current version of it like into the illusion? Like just humor me.
Are you gonna do that?
That sounds scary. I mean, I have my short sword still, but what if it, like, steals it?
Shit.
I mean, only one way to find out.
I don't know if it would steal it or if it would like upgrade its current form or
Gotta risk it for the biscuit.
nothing could happen. It's
Okay, but also, what if it upgrades its current form, and that's what ends up with me being dead swinging from the gallows?
the other question is why would you be swinging from the gallows in the first place? Like she's not like I'm telling her repeatedly it is an exact replica. It is the same copy. There's something going on here. Help us figure this out, woman.
Fair, yeah. I'll show it.
Okay, so are you going to put the sword up closer to the illusion?
Closer, not maybe necessarily in it per se, but like pretty close.
Okay. So as
Something cool
you
happens.
reach your sword out closer to the table, it comes to within about a foot of it, and it feels like it hits a wall. And as it does, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
I roll my inspire and indebted.
You can't. You're You're indebted right now because
Ah,
you inspired Cedric.
Said deck?
Dexterity saving throw.
That is a 9.
and I can't cast a regular guidance then, can I?
Yeah, I say guidance
It's too
wouldn't help
late.
on saving throws anyways. It helps on checks.
Damn.
This is a saving throw against a spell effect.
Boy.
So wow, I rolled all threes. So as your sword gets closer, you feel a reverberating force come out of it, shoot down the sword. You take 12 points of force damage, and you are sent flying 15 feet backwards to fall prone on the ground outside of the tent.
Cool.
As that happens, those of you who are inside the tent notice that the illusion has faded and the rusted short sword that was laying on the table has turned to dust.
Huh.
Damn. Okay. I'm gonna rush out to her and do a lay on hands to heal that damage real fast.
Okay. So go ahead and mark 12 off of your lay on hands. Anything else you want to say since you're the one who talked her into doing that?
I'm gonna scream. What the fuck was that?
That's what I want to fucking know as I rub my head where it hit the ground.
Seriously, my God! Like that wasn't like that was a hefty hit. Also, my bio
Back
is
from
like
them, I look over to Madam Ava and I ask what that was about.
Yeah, what in the Bruce Almighty was that?
I'm not quite sure.
Hey,
I've
buddy.
not seen anything like this in all of the years I've been alive.
Yikes.
It was
great.
almost as if two versions of the same thing were trying to inhabit the same space.
Like a paradox.
So there's two of her.
So, Cedric, what exactly happened on that gallows?
I didn't notice anything but her identical corpse swinging the gallows with her obviously time-worn weapons.
This gallows, it was down near the intersection on the way to town, right?
Correct.
That hasn't been used in almost 100 years.
Hmm.
That stopped being used when Strahd found the last of the men who had killed his previous love. The last of them he hung there.
I just want to pan over wide-eyed at Aurora and just take a few steps back.
I don't think she's done it. Like, I don't see why it would have anything to do
I don't
with
know about
her.
you guys, but I'm
Or-
assuming the adventurer that we started off with is now deceased, and this is a
Different.
mimic of sorts, a disguise.
Say when we got here, we walked through a distortion field, so something could have happened.
From my eyes, it almost feels like maybe Aurora wasn't a person. Or at least the same person we entered with. Not even just in like a different form, but like it's a different entity and altogether.
Ouch.
We got skinwalkers going around.
Not a skinwalker.
Hmm.
Well, I
No.
don't know anything about that, but as far as these cards go, did she tell you that there's some missing?
She had mentioned something about it.
So
Going to back out?
these cards were created back when Strahd first took power. They were meant to be able to discern his fortune and the fortune of this land. They're tied to both of them intrinsically.
So they're like tarot cards?
They're Taraka cards, which is the Barovian version of tarot.
But that probably means they hold more power than here because that's what type of mystical energy these people do. Okay. Is there anything you remember about those?
Well, these cards were specifically created
No.
to be able to tell the fortunes of this land and potentially help us fix it. There were relics that were created around the same time that these cards were that are tied to Strahd himself. And it's said that those are the only things that would have the information and the power to be able to lay him to rest permanently.
Do you know the location of any of these relics? What is it, bub? It's Knuckles.
Well, that's what these cards are supposed to discern. The person who created those relics, they're long gone.
Oh.
And these cards were said to be able to locate them. And they were hidden in a place that Strahd would never be able to access.
Is there any way that we can use our own tarot cards?
Any way to recover and restore these burned cards? Here, you
Well,
want this?
I don't know what Cassandra told you, but with these cards, they not only tell you how to find them, they also act as a key to being able to locate them.
Do we still have our blank cards?
Well, you all don't have your cards anymore. They disappeared when your items manifested.
I gotcha. I thought they just turned blank.
Though your previous cards that you had from your fortune telling don't have the same power as these.
Okay.
But the thing that's interesting, he couldn't have destroyed the cards that tell us where those items are at.
Why not?
Because if they're destroyed, the seal that holds those items in check would be released also, which means you wouldn't need the cards to get them.
Ooh.
So unless he's somehow sucked a card out of the deck that we had, or the deck that we found never had them to begin with.
So either the cards were already missing, or he took them and hid them from you.
Is there any tales to where they may have been, or any location that the cards were originated from?
Well, I mean, they originated here. I made these cards.
You made the cards?
Do you know where the items are that need to be unsealed?
I do not. I wasn't the one who created that enchantment. I just created the card.
Interesting.
The person who created the items created the enchantment.
And you said he's long since passed?
He's long since gone.
I don't know about
Oh,
you guys, but there's a
why?
whole lot of
Or where
rivers here with no bridges to cross them.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
That means he's not dead, he's just left the camp.
Where did
So
he go?
he wasn't of Barovia. Much like yourselves, he came here from the outside.
Did he
Huh.
leave the lands?
I don't know. I've not seen him in a long time.
Was he part of the gnomes party?
You mean Nicholas?
Yes.
No, he came with a much different party not too super long ago. There's a story that you probably haven't heard, but back probably a couple hundred years ago now, a great wizard fought with Strahd and was defeated and fell not too far from here into these waters. No one knows what happened to him from there. No body was ever found.
Do you know how far it is until the waters reach an end?
Well, they go into the fog, which is an end to anyone who tries to cross through it.
Except for you.
Well, then his body's probably back on the outside.
But that wizard
Storm.
is the one who created the enchantment and who helped create the items needed to kill Strahd.
Rats.
So
Well, we
either
now have our direction.
so if you found that wizard, he may be able to recreate the enchantment to find the items, or knowing Strahd, he would entrust those cards to people of evil intent that he knows prosper from this land and wouldn't want to see it go away.
Do you have any information on these evil being locations?
I don't, but I might be able to at least get you a direction.
That would be of great value.
Give me about an hour to prepare the things that I need, and then meet me out at the fire, and I will do what I can.
Go away. Well, thank you.
Was there anything else that you had questions about, or anything else I could help with right now?
Yeah, how prepared are you if an attack suddenly from Strahd were to happen?
I mean, about as prepared as I can be.
Okay. Let's put it this way. Do you have any bodies like I don't want to bless the river because that's a little big.
I was thinking
Do
just bottle up some water and holify
Help
it.
with the river, though.
I was gonna say
And Umberly may be able to provide some guidance with that as well.
Well, with it being running water, Strahd and vampires would avoid it anyways. Vampires don't like running water.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like a weapon, like basically something you can either A, dip weapons in, B, just take buckets and douse people with, stuff like that.
Possibly even finally take a bath, I suppose, unless we're fucking
I mean,
down
yeah,
to
if we
go on
can.
taking
We
a
can probably take a bath.
The fire in the middle of the camp acts as protection for the camp. It provides healing to those who call the Vestani friends and hinders those who would call us their enemies.
Alrighty.
Alright, well, while we wait this hour, I suppose we take probably at this point a little smelly party and see if they have a bathing area since this is a camp they commonly come to, the Vestani.
We have some bathing tubs over by the tents on the west side of the camp. one of the men over there could probably help with drawing water from the river and getting it heated for you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Well, I asked if there's any way we can buy soap or if they have soap to spare, and then I look at the party and I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna go take a nice long hot soak while we wait.
So
I
we
can
do
follow
have
with that sentiment.
some things that you can use. However, for you, Mr. Goliath, I don't know if you're going to fit in any of the tubs that we have.
River
So
dub dub.
you
I
may
see
have
what
to
happened
use the
last time
river.
somebody went into the river. I ain't doing that. I was had to smell like stinky.
Well, if you didn't turn against Aurora, she could have probably used some water genesee power. Hosed you off like a dog, but.
Wait, I got you.
Wait, you can
I
control water
have a
too?
spell. No, I have a spell to make him smaller. So he'll
She's going to
fit.
shrink you.
Or I can
Wait,
make
how
shit, I
how
think I
much
do
shrinking are we
too.
talking about before we get ahead of ourselves?
just enough to make you fit.
So I was just thinking I've got a
Do you
How
get
long
the
does that
that as
determinant?
spell
well.
last?
Um,
Okay, so you
Probably
cause
not
a
long.
creature an object you can see within range to grow larger or smaller.
I can just make the bath bigger, truly.
Yeah.
That would be mucho appreciated.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll just make the bath bigger. So let
Okay,
me
so
use. the
you're all
spell
off
slot.
to take baths.
Since the area is protected and we have an hour to go, and we've already done. Plus, we're already waiting for the tailor to make my cloak better. I don't. Nobody's got anything working through the blacksmith or the enchanter. And then I don't. Well, actually, let's ask Satori what she wants to do, or is she off doing her
She's
own
off
thing
playing with the
still?
kids.
All right.
Or that's what she told you she was doing, anyways.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I didn't know if you were having her do some DM thing or. Because I was gonna say have her go with the gals and they take their baths.
Speaking of, I was going to say, am I allowed to do a ceremony spell while bathing? Basically, just get an extra holy water.
Yeah. I say you can, for ritual spells and the like, you just can't be doing anything strenuous. So light duty such as like reading and stuff, you can do that at the same time.
Girl, are you getting saucy and about to bottle up some of your bath water and slay the enemies with it?
Brother, you better sell that shit on
Maybe.
Only Maidens and get us some coin.
Oh, he throwing straight platinums at them bottles, but oh my goodness. Getting some little goblin sack up in that shit.
Paladin bath water. I'm sure it would sound like hotcakes.
We call it only
Okay.
water.
So is there anything else that any of you are wanting to do, or are you all heading off to the baths?
Party, I'm not holding your hand while we're doing this.
Somebody has to.
I know. I'm holding the boys' hands as we're walking to the bath because we might have some fun while we splashing around. We gotta dazzle up that holy water. Know what I'm saying?
Wow.
We gotta keep this PG.
No,
We
it's
have to
marked
put
for
some
adult
tags on the
audiences. Don't
videos.
get it twisted.
Okay.
No kids stumbling upon this unless their parents don't love them.
I don't know. I mean, as a kid, I was still playing Grand Theft Auto. Maybe a little mad, but I mean, eh. And then you had those people back in the day. Oh, this is why kids are unaliving kids at schools. Grand Theft Auto kills.
Okay.
No, your abuse at home kills.
So, Aurora, you're going to the river to bathe?
Yeah. Since my party is turning on me.
Oh no, I
I'm gonna
had you back,
cry.
girl. I said you were in a time loop. I never said you were an enemy.
So,
Buddy, you gotta
as
stop saying
you
that.
all start making your way to the tents to bathe, Aurora, you make your way off to the river. Garvin, are you checking in with Reggie or anything?
I mean, yeah, if he, sends me messages or anything, be like, hey, yo, how's it looking out there? Does he see anything? Anything look up out of sorts?
Real quick, Reggie's automatically linked to all of us telepathically to where we can tell him something to relay it to everybody, right?
He is automatically connected to Garvin.
Me.
If he
Cool.
starts a communication with you, you can respond to him.
Alright, so to start like a battle
Start a back and forth,
relay to
basically. You
Rick.
can ask
Alright,
him
alright.
something, like, verbally, and he can probably respond.
Okay, okay. And then if he's, cause, what's his distance?
60 feet.
Alright.
You
Yeah,
make
we
me
can
blink.
shout 60 feet. We'd probably have to roll.
And so you're outside of the 60 feet now, but as you guys pass by, he does send Garvin a message.
Okay, what's the message?
It's in your chat.
She seems sad. Oh, it's such a shame. Yeah, I'm gonna respond. No shit. No. um, I am gonna go ahead and before we hop in the bath, I am gonna head over there and tell her, hey, you need to take a bath. It helps with your sadness. And you're bumming poor Reggie out over here.
The fucking voodoo doll.
So, Garvin, as you go and talk to her, she just kind of regards you. I don't trust these people.
Why not?
They're. Do you not know who they are?
Yeah, the Vestani, they're the people who can travel back and forth, they're the people who once helped Strahd in a time of need before he was a complete asshat. It happens.
Did they? Anyone ever explain to you how they're able to travel back and forth?
A pact was made. They said that they can't, he basically can't touch them. He's not allowed to.
Is that what they told you?
That's the rumors we've also heard. What is your story?
The only people who can pass through the fog are the people that Strahd allows. Any of his generals and his minions can pass through the fog. It's not special to the Vestani. He sent werewolves and mercenaries through the fog multiple times to bring back new meat for this land.
Okay, but at the same time, still, you got to remember, you got to separate the two, honey. You can't just be like, oh, just because they also have the ability to travel back and forth doesn't mean that they're inherently with him. If they're owed something by him, then he has to honor it. That's how some magics work. It goes beyond even a curse.
It's a pact.
I still don't trust them.
That's understandable, and sometimes I don't trust them either, but they seem to be good people, and I'm sorry, but they take care of their children, they take care of their families, and they seem to care for people. And whether or not they're good or bad, as long as they're caring, that's what matters to me. Good and bad is it's just a construct.
I'll think about it, but I've seen so many bad things happen to the people in my home, and none of these people have ever tried to help us.
it's not inherently evil to try to survive, hun. That's not something that you can blame somebody for.
With that, she just kind of goes back to staring off at the water.
Look, if it makes you feel any better, Reggie can stay by your side. He's a strong, dependable little lad. I love him to death. And sleep with a dagger by your side if you need to. Like, trust me, I get it. I've bedded with some really not so great people in my past. Sometimes it is just not something that you're used to having happen. Sometimes you do have to sleep with a dagger at your side. You never know. You may be right. We could all be dead tomorrow. We don't know. But I would rather trust in people who are good natured and die than not trust anybody.
She just kind of nods at you and continues staring out at the water, lost in her thoughts.
I'm gonna go take a bath because I stink to high fucking heaven.
As you do, you notice a small grin cross your face as you say that, and you walk away. Aurora, as you approach the river, you see Satori there. Her boots are up in the grass. She is walking through the shallows of the river and looks like she is picking up rocks.
And I ask her what she's doing.
Oh, hi. I'm just picking up rocks. These are pretty. You see? She shows you a rock that has been polished by the rushing waves. It is like a bluish purple in color and has like specks of silver throughout it.
Ooh, that is a pretty rock. I thought you were hanging out with the other kids, though.
I was, but they they seem weird.
What do you mean weird?
I don't know. I'm not from here. It's we don't I'm not used to being around people my age. They seem different. And then their parents came to spend time with them and it made me sad, so I came here playing with the rocks.
I understand that. I also like to come sit by the water and play with the rocks when I miss my parents. Where are yours?
Mommy and Daddy are gone.
What happened?
It's my fault.
I doubt that.
I was playing with magic I wasn't supposed to and ended up here. Mommy and Daddy followed. I'd never seen that man's face. I'd only heard his voice until the other night when we left that house.
That sounds more like you were lured and less like that was your fault.
The last thing I remember is Mommy telling me to run as I heard that man's voice sticking the doggies on them.
I give her a hug and I tell her that it wasn't her fault and that he's a bad man and he tricked her.
She sobs a little bit into your chest as you hug her. I'm glad I found you. You guys seem fun. Mommy and Daddy would have liked you guys.
I'm sure we would have liked them too, and we are very glad we found you as well.
She pushes that rock into your hands you should have this. And
Thank you.
I'm going to go try and find Toby before they give him a bunch of bad treats.
Okay, yeah, definitely do that. If you need us, we're all taking a bath, but Reggie is with Irina and she's by the river.
Okay, well, be careful.
We will.
She runs off into the grass and grabs her boots, and you can add a polished purple rock into your inventory if you want.
I will, but it will not let me add things, so if you could do that, that'd be cool.
I can. And then, Garbin, you said you were going to be doing ceremony, so you can go ahead and add a vial of holy water. And then your baths all go without any problems. I'm not going to have anyone attack you guys while you are in your state of undress. I am not that mean of a person.
Only reason I even said something about it is because the king protected. If not, we'd have to wait till we got back to a village or something.
Right. As you all finish your baths, next you hear the voice of the tailor outside the tent that you are in. Fayboy, I have your cloak out here for you. I'll just leave it folded by the door whenever you're done.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I will visit you afterwards.
So you hear the sound of cloth being laid on a stool outside of the door, and the sounds of her footsteps retreating.
Dry off my hair and myself as I walk out to get my new cloak as I dress myself.
And is there anything you guys are trying to do before you head over to the fire?
I guess just check the surroundings and make sure things are still okay since time has passed.
Yeah, can I do another perception check?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a perception
well.
check. Anyone who's wanting to, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Well, that's a 10, so I don't really notice shit.
I'm gonna roll one, but I'm also gonna take a -5 hit to it. But this is also gonna get it out of the form.
Mine was 13.
Why does it say 21? What did I do? Get like a 17 and it put the 4 on already?
Yeah, it went ahead and added your stuff for you.
Cool.
So,
It's a perception check, correct?
yep.
Okay, so I got a 15.
So your fives canceled each other out.
Pretty much.
Okay, so as you all are doing this, you notice that it's starting to get darker as the day is ending. You all are feeling a little bit more relaxed after soaking in the hot tubs for a little bit. And it's the first time you've gotten to do that since you've gotten to this land. So all of the experiences you've had with water so far have mostly been you getting put face down in it in the basement of the house, or the rain or the fog. This is the first relaxing experience you guys have gotten to have since you got here. There are no ghost children in sight. All of the children that you can perceive are of the living variety, and they are rushing around helping their parents with chores as they're bringing in clothes before the night. And a lot of the adults are off, like feeding the horses and getting ready to put food out for everyone before the night comes to an end. Is there anything you're wanting to do before you head to the fire?
Nothing. Actually, I want to look for some ale or some grub, if not both. Because that's the only thing that'll make this night better after a nice warm bath.
I'd say they'll likely have that near the center of the camp where all of the fires and stuff have always been.
Oh, I was trying to pregame, but that works too.
Anyone else?
I may head back to Arena over here, see how she's doing.
I'm gonna head to the fire and I'm gonna be as close as possible and preen my feathers and get them dry.
I will stop by the tailor and ask how much she wants for the tailor work.
She already told you she's not charging you anything for it.
Oh, God bless, God bless. Well, as we're walking to the fire, I tell her thank you again for the fine work.
Just try not to destroy it next time.
I'll try not to, but it saves my life more than anything. No, say that, Toby's a dog. Ismond a good boy. But I nod in appreciation and walk.
So, Garbin, you said you're going to see Arena?
Correct.
Yeah. So, what are you going up there to say or do?
I am gonna tell her, come on, hun, we're going to the fire. You may be upset and you may be sad, you may not trust these people, but you need to eat.
She allows you to guide her begrudgingly towards the fire, but she keeps her words to herself.
There you go. Come on. Come on. Yeah.
So, as you all approach, there is a table nearby with some meats and stuff laid out, but it doesn't look like it's all of the food. It just looks like jerky and stuff that they've had out for people to snack on throughout the day. Based on the smells, there's food still cooking on nearby spits. So nothing's ready just yet.
Alright, I'll grab me a piece of jerky and I'll grab the biggest piece they got and toss it over to good boy Tobias. I'm sure he has pooped out from playing with the kids for so long.
So as you approach him, Nix, you see that he is sitting there chewing on what looks like a big ham bone,
Ooh, okay,
with
okay,
Satori
good.
scratching behind his ears.
Ah, what a baby doll. I tell her thank you and I appreciate you looking after my...
Yeah, they tried to give him a pie.
Oh,
I told him that he wouldn't like it and found a ham for him. I don't think that they're happy that I took it off the fire, but Toby seems to enjoy it.
that's okay. I know he does, and I don't care what they think. You did what was best. He doesn't need a pie right
Fuck them
now.
kids.
Fuck them kids. I don't know all these stranger kids. They don't need to be giving my dog random food that I don't approve of. And I smack my hands together. It's my dog now. No take backsies.
Who wants
I take 'em.
drinks?
I'll take a drink, my good sir.
I will also take a drink.
I'm gonna have Reggie go ahead and start filling everybody's cups up
My
with.
headset was muted. I also
Wow.
want a drink and some grub.
So
With
there's no
F?
food ready yet, but they do have a cask of wine set up nearby. They do not have any of their ale out yet.
Wine's
Before we
fine.
drink.
Wait, actually,
yeah.
no, I don't want the wine.
Nah, that's what I was gonna say. I want to do a fucking...
Bad
What would
memories,
it be? A perception check on it?
Okay.
Yeah, don't want to get Sierra and get fucking... Well, no, I think
I
I'll
cast
put,
guidance for him.
Buffer Charmed and then...
Beer.
And then roll a d4. So 11.
Indeed.
It smells like relatively cheap wine. It has a really strong vinegary smell as if it had been in its barrel for too long. But beneath that, it also has a really sweet smell of dark red grapes.
Cheap wine, can't go wrong.
I'll take a small glass. Because I'm not
Reggie!
Richard! I'm not a big drinker.
As you're all getting your drinks, Madame Ava looks you all over. I'm sorry that we don't have better. The supply's been a little short lately from the winery in the area.
It's more than fine. After the few days we've had, just a little bit of relaxation is more than we can ask.
So we don't have much on ale left. So Barovia is primarily a wine country, and what ale we do have, we get from outside.
Oops. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and flip her like 10 gold and be like, sorry, we're drinking all your stuff.
Oh, you don't have to worry about it. People just give it to us. We just have to wait for them to have more supply, and they seem to have been short lately.
Yeah, but just in case you
Um,
never. Besides, I feel guilty having all this hospitality happen and you not getting anything in return.
Well, I appreciate it. If you ever have the time, you should try visiting the winery. As far as Barovia goes, it's usually a pretty peaceful and pretty place to visit.
Yeah, if I visit there, we're probably not going to have wine for the rest of the country for like a year. I don't think it's a good idea. Never let a pirate get near your source of beer. Don't do it.
taking all the booze.
Okay. So, as you all start getting comfortable, Madame Ava starts pulling out pouches that have different powders and stuff in them. She also pulls out the box with the that has the ashes from the cards. I know that you all have seen similar magic to this. Um, from what I understand, Danimir did a similar spell to show you all what the story of Strahd and how he became who he is now. So I hope that it doesn't shock you too much whenever things start happening.
So we're having movie night. Awesome. Anybody get any popcorn?
I'm going to watch intently in hopes of possibly learning any kind of new spell.
To be fair, I mean, I know it's like the storytelling and cliche magic stuff, but at the same time, if you actually get to learn some of that, can you imagine just having a bonfire lit up and then just flashing some illusion magic to distract somebody for a few seconds?
It'd be kind of bomb.
Okay. So as she starts getting prepared, she pulls out a bunch of herbs that she throws into the fire. She then follows it with a handful of what looks like sparkling green powder and a handful of the ashes from the box. And as she throws them into the fire, its color begins to change. It turns to deep reds from the blue, it turns silver, it turns purple, and then it settles to an inky black with streaks of like a lavender purple going through it intermittently. As the color changes to this black, it also starts to have images flash across it, which appears to just be, to your all's adventuring mindsets, almost looks like a map, more so than it does anything else. You can see what look like hills and valleys, what looks like the mountains that surround this area, forests. You can even see what looks like creatures running through the woods, and a dark keep sitting up on top of a cliff overlooking everything. As these images flash and change, you can see motes of silver light spreading throughout it. And those lights come to settle throughout multiple areas on the map. They settle densely around that keep. You can see some settling in the woods just to the north of where you're at, northwest of the keep. Far to the northwest on that little map, you see more settle there. And then you see some settle throughout the middle of the map. This is interesting. These lights indicate people who have sold their souls to Strahd and to the shadows that inhabit Barovia. You can see here, she waves her hand towards the keep. This is the keep of Strahd himself. All of these lights are those minions that he keeps closest at hand. Just southeast of it, you can see lights in what appears to be a small village. That is Barovia itself.
So that means one of the relics are there, or one of his generals?
It just means that they're people who are entrusted to him. Just to the west of those lights, southwest of the keep, you can see what looks like a lake and a river. And there are specks of light in that area as well.
I was gonna say, does this thing like have a zoom feature or like?
So I'll give you all a glimpse of the map. So this is the map of Barovia. So here is the keep.
Okay.
So you see lights flashing around that area. You see lights flashing around here. You see lights flashing around here.
So I'm almost positive that's this current camp, isn't it?
It is.
Oh.
The densest of the lights that you can see occur just to the north of where you're at.
Oh, God.
You also see. Ow. You also see some in the middle of the plains and swamps. And then to the far west, at the edge of where the fog inhabits. Those are where the shadows are or the sparks of light are the densest. But there are sparks of light throughout this map that she's got up on the screen.
Well, I think we have our target, boys and girls.
I
I
ask if
am
there's
going to
any
point
way.
out, like there's some in the camp. Do we know who it is and why they have it there?
As you ask that question, the flame goes out and the map fades.
I'm gonna be prepared for a battle. I'm just gonna, just
Before the
idly hold
battle,
my weapon.
before the battle, I ask if she has a map we can mark down those locations with.
She does pull out a paper map for you. I do want to warn you, it is a little old. This is from back before he took over and we were sealed off, so some things may appear a little different. I don't think the flame was ready for this kind of magic. I knew it was a risk, but we will endure.
Wait, the fire went out, right?
Out. Like it didn't change back to its blue color. It's out.
That means protection's gone, boyos.
Yep. We are out here butt naked, no condom.
Any way we can relight it, or
The spell that it takes to relight it takes about 24 hours for me to cast it.
so? Why did you try this spell?
Because the risk it was worth it. This is information you need to be able to have a chance.
Allows us to progress on our journey.
Well, that's a subjective view on things. So
We could have spent like 6
Well,
years
see,
here searching for all them locales.
I would say that I use Find Vessel to make us a boat, and then we just hit the river and get the fuck out of here.
I mean, we can't get the fuck out. Like, fuck this place. They're obviously idiots.
I don't think they're idiots. They're just being very deceptive. Unless they don't know they're under the control or a potential control of anything.
I knew it was a risk casting this spell using the Taraka cards on this flame, but I know that you all need the information to have a chance against Strahd. If it means that we have to abandon this camp going forward, then that's what we have to do.
Could you not have like saved a little bit of the fire to relight it, like afterwards or something?
I
Like
think that's how that would
grab a
work.
torch. Like,
That's not how the magic works, my boy.
could you have at least tried? Like,
It's fine. I was prepared for this.
Well, thank you for your assistance. Sorry for the sacrifice you might have made.
yeah, the whole damn camp.
And Garbin, with your frustration and the fact that you didn't come straight to the fire, I want you to do a perception check and a history check. Okay, so that's a 12 on the perception.
Should be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. 12 on perception and history. Let me see if I got any buffs for it. I don't know if I do or not. I do not.
Okay. So with that, I am going to play back a little bit of what you witnessed as you walked towards the fire with Arena. Because to make it to the fire, you had to walk past Madame Ava's tent. So prior to you approaching this flame, you walked past Madame Ava's tent with Arena, and there were trunks set up outside of her tent. And a brief glimpse with that perception check, you notice that a lot of her items that were in there were not up on display.
You were ready to leave camp before. You were planning on abandoning this camp beforehand, weren't you?
I knew you all were coming. I knew you all would need my help. I wasn't sure what you needed, but I knew that once it was finished, that this camp would no longer be able to exist the way that it does.
Well, you could have just come out and said that, because now we feel like really big dicks. So, like,
Don't, my boy. If anyone should be to blame here, I've been around since this all started. It's just as
Age,
my fault that all of this is happening in the first place as it is your fault that this camp has to go.
fuck you.
Don't
Fuck
worry.
you. Age does not equal responsibility. It's not on you. You're not the whole reason Strahd's a dick, okay? That's on
You
him.
sweet. You sweet. The older the berry, the sweeter the juice, baby. We're gonna go get these things. We're gonna knock this out. Your sacrifice will have been worth it.
You're gonna be able to build a fucking city. This guy's gonna be fucking. He's gonna look glorious as a mount on your wall. You get me?
She grins at you. I hope to see that day, my boy. You all should get your rest while you can. I have plenty of lookouts to keep an eye out for anyone coming. You will be safe here. I make a promise of that.
Don't make a promise you can't keep. Reggie, could you go ahead and do me a favor and make sure you stay with Arena just in case?
As you make that comment about keeping a promise, she walks to the wagon nearby and picks up her staff that is leaning against it. You all get your rest. No one's going to interfere with that tonight.
All right. Peace.
So as the fire itself has gone out, she waves over some men nearby to put wood inside the brazier to put a normal fire up so you guys still have some warmth and some light as they start bringing out food for everyone to eat before they finish their preparations to travel in the morning and get put to rest for the night.
Okay. Partake in a little of that parcheesi if you don't mind. Take a piece, and then is Toby still gnawing on that good old we
Yeah,
gave him, or does he? He's
it's
good.
a It's a big ol' ham bone. He's gonna be busy for a minute.
Alright, eat a little plate, cause I'm a little guy.
But with that, you all get your food. I say it's nothing special. Roasted meats and vegetables, and they bring out a barrel of ale for you to get some drinks. And then you all retreat off to your individual places of rest to get your sleep. As you do, who is rooming with who? You have 3 tents. So,
Is there a capacity per tent? Or is it whoever shacks in a tent?
I say whoever wants to shack up together. I figure the girls are all probably taking one of them. And that leaves 2 tents for the rest of you.
Alright, boys, looks like we're finally getting that group shower after all.
I was thinking it'd be Dakota and one other person because he a big boy.
I was gonna say, hold on, why is
Buddy,
Garvin
I'm
going
a
in the woman's
jokester.
tent? I want to go to the woman's tent if Garvin's gone.
Mother!
God, she's like 12. Leave her alone.
Seriously.
Dakota has to slide his baby oil back into his pocket.
That I have in my
Oh, yeah.
little hand sanitizer size bottle. No Diddy party.
Not tonight.
Okay.
Oh no, all the dudes are shacking up. It could still be a Diddy party. No, it's just me and Garvin.
Where's oh?
He better sleep tight
Oh, 'cause
tonight, buddy.
Toby
I'm
gets
just
the
telling you.
tent. Poor Reggie, he's just out there.
Don't face away from me.
Now we're snuggling face to face.
Don't worry, Dakota likes to be Little Spoon, so you're gonna fucking crushed.
I mean,
So,
am I wearing like full plate armor? Just
so that's a good question. Are you guys doffing your armor while you sleep, or are you sleeping
Hell
in
no.
your armor?
I'm sleeping in my fucking armor. I don't trust shit. I may have tried to tell Arena, no, it's fine, it's fine. Nah, I'm with her. Fuck these guys.
Well, I feel like if you decide to keep your armor on, you should get a short rest instead of a long rest. Because you're not going to sleep well with armor on.
Depends on how used to it you are.
Yeah, and I only have light armor.
I think I only have my
I feel like if
clothes,
there's
so
an
I'm
option to
good
wear the
go.
armor or not, there should be penalties for wearing the armor or not.
Sleeping with your armor on gives you a level of exhaustion.
Mm,
Rules as written.
I
All
guess
armor
let's
or
take
just
it
heavy
off.
armor?
But I'm gonna have it at a moment's notice to be able to be put on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess I am unsheathing myself.
Is it all armor or just heavier armor?
Any armor that's not just like robes.
Alright, so my cloak should be fine.
Yeah.
Alright.
But you have your leather armor on, so
Well, we set the leather armor off to the side and then put the nice toasty cloak back on to nestle in the shadows.
I say the only people who do not have armor are Ugte, Aurora, and Satori, I'm pretty sure.
Could anybody put up an alarm spell or anything on the tents, or at least in our direct perimeter?
Or say Satori did with her lantern.
Hell yeah.
This is odd, but could I use minor illusion to put an illusion of a trap on the door?
Sure.
Sick.
Does it
Reggie's
require
gonna be-
concentration?
I put it in the chat.
It only lasts for a minute.
Damn. Never mind.
I'd say it's a good idea, but it only lasts for a minute.
I'm gonna
I
go
just have
ahead
to
and make sure Reggie.
recast it every minute for the entire night.
So as you all lay down to rest, your dreams do not come easy. Your sleep is a fight all on its own. You, Cedric, you are having flashbacks of what you witnessed at the gallows, of your new friend, battered and bruised. And each time that you close your eyes or turn away, the gallows is there in front of you, and you are unable to escape it. And you are plagued with the constant chuckle of what you overheard as you all escaped from there yesterday.
I just want to mumble as I'm tossing and turning in my sleep. No, it's my ball. I'm going home.
Garvin, you are having flashbacks to what you endured in the basement of the house. You remember the punishing magics that you dealt with as you fought through hordes of the undead, and then the final punch that you took from the monster at the very bottom before you finally made your escape.
Ah, good times.
Similar to that, Ugte, you flash back to it, but your memories are a little more blurred due to your rage. But you remember the attacks that you endured. You remember the feel of your glaive flashing through bone and sinew. And you remember the crushing feeling of the vines as the monster almost killed you. Aurora, you don't necessarily recall any of your previous encounters, but more so are falling asleep to feelings of self doubt and worry with how your companions have been reacting to you within the last 24 hours. And it's starting to bring up uncertainty within you as you think about continuing forward.
I never said I was distrustful. I was baffled.
Enith, you recall the encounter in the cemetery where, for one of the first times in your time here, your druidic senses had really shown to light the dangers that this place has for you with those plants that had attacked you all. You flash back to the pain that you endured as you struggled against them, and the sinking feeling of doubt as you think about what else is to come.
Well, it's a lot.
Nyx, for one of the first times since you have fallen asleep here, you feel alone. Every time that you have slept within these lands, you could feel the essence and or the embrace of your patron. And here it seems, at least for right now, that she is distant, as if she is gauging what to expect of you, and that leaves you worried.
So I'm tossing and turning in my sleep, with a little bit of worries.
Say, Toby is having nothing but good dreams because he has spent the whole day running around and playing and having a good old time.
My good boy.
And then Satori is sharing a bed with you again, Aurora. And through your troubled sleep, you can hear her whimpering and crying in hers. And with that, we finish your rest. You can all mark off a long rest on your character sheet. And for those of you who used any resources such as lay on hands, make sure that you fully refresh those resources.
Could you long rest for me? I'm washing some dishes.
And as you all wake up, rested but groggy, feeling as if the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you can hear the sound of bustling around outside as everyone seems to be in a hurry to get into the wagon.
What's the fuss about? Is something going on?
I mean, the protection for the camp is gone. I'm sure they're trying to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Well, yeah, but they shouldn't be in this much of a rush.
I mean, we do know Strahd's an asshole. So
Well, that's why I feel like I should ask if there's danger afoot and fuckery happen.
So, as you all head towards the center of the camp, Madam Ava is standing guard and directing everyone on where to go. And as she sees you all approach, she regards you before going back to her duties as the leader of these people. You all see Nicholas clambering into his truck or into his wagon to secure all of his belongings to make sure that nothing falls or breaks during the travel. You can see Madeline, the tailor and general store owner, securing all of her wares into trunks that she is putting up under the bottom of the wagon. And then the blacksmith is quickly securing what resources he has into trunks to put into whatever wagons he can.
I'm going to offer any help to anybody who needs help packing.
I was about to say the same thing. Ask if we can help them before we all depart.
Well, I appreciate that, young ones. Right now, I think everyone's got packing in hand, but if you wouldn't mind feeding the horses and bringing them over so that we can get the wagons secured, we can go ahead and start preparing to get on the road.
Aye, Captain.
Get the group together and do that.
As you are speaking with her, Garbin and Nick, since you're the ones who spoke up, I want you both to roll perception checks for me.
So I've got to walk back to the table.
Cast guidance for you, by the way. If it does
Expert.
anything for you.
Hopefully. My last one was so nothing worth talking about.
So
16.
15.
I think my perception's 4. Yeah, my perception's 4. And then with his guidance, it's 5, right?
Well, you gotta roll. Yeah.
Oh,
So 18.
Uh-huh.
So as you are talking to her, you can also see what looks like some of the guardsmen dragging the corpses of wolves over into a pile that they are preparing to burn.
The roof. The roof.
I asked what that's about. Were they almost attacked this morning?
I told you nothing would come between you and getting your rest.
Yeah, but
Well,
normally the
thank
wolves
you.
leave you alone.
He's not after us.
Oh, so does he know we seen places of interest last night in the fire? So now he's trying to retaliate?
I'm not sure what it is, but he seems to know that you're here.
Where is Arena?
She's with the girls.
Okay. Should we still
Nope,
safe?
he's not with us.
I don't know. They've not spoken up.
I'm gonna have Reggie head over and check on Arena.
I've tried to talk a couple different times and my headset was muted. Dakota just messaged me and was like, "You're being real quiet." I was like, "No, I am. I was talking." Because I asked where they were going. Like, where the Vestani are.
Well, some of our people are heading back to Balaki. The rest are heading up to Kresk. We have camps in both of those areas, and we'll just continue to be on the move until we're able to safely come back here.
Isn't that the way we're going also?
I don't know. Where are you all going?
Actually, can I point out something real fast?
Yeah.
Barovia might be their best choice to head to for now, since it's been 24 hours. The place should be blessed.
Uh-huh.
Which means we may also want to head back to Barovia so we can drop off Arena. And then make sure that the place is secured and safe and talk to our people. Basically, make sure we get a game plan going. Because they probably would like to know, about our lovely little map as well.
I mean, you have a way to communicate with them without going back.
The sending stone.
Yeah, send him a text.
We gonna do that?
What do we want to tell them?
So your message has to be 25 words or less to
25
go
words
through
or
the
less.
stone. Yep.
Just simply, we have Strahd's lover, and that should entice a pretty good response back from them.
Well, I mean, I would.
I already knew that.
Would they be able to
Oh,
send us a
fair.
message back?
Yeah.
Specify protection as well, because if you just say straw lower, they might think we're sending a POW. You don't specify.
Is town safe? Question mark. Have Strahd's.
What is that?
I
That's
don't
what I
know,
was
but it
about to
sounds
say.
terrible.
I
My,
think it's Scott.
It's Scott.
doing.
Bro,
Nah,
what you
it was
doing?
Scott.
Don't you be falling asleep over there. Don't do it. It's not
I
worth
say,
it.
I think you were late on your phone or something, brother.
You alive?
He might be down for the count.
I was already asleep.
I hear him.
Can you not hear me?
There
We
you
can
are.
now. We heard whatever you were doing.
Sound like you was
I
ripping the
don't know what
fattest
the
ass in
fuck.
the mic, brother.
Yeah, it is real funny.
That makes no accountable.
It sounds like you're about to just fall face plant under your freaking desk.
I'm about to fall face first. If going.
But anyways, the sending
Probably maybe
stone.
Cool.
sending
Uh,
stone,
Really
yeah.
short.
Cool.
We have Strahd's next target. Is town safe? Also have uh
I mean, right
map
there.
of map of Strahd's people.
Really, a shorter message of if town's safe might suffice.
Hmm.
Well, I'm trying to pack in as much info as possible into one message.
Realistically, in 25 words, we're gonna have to send a few messages, if not just go off of our instinct of what little we get back if we're trying to move hastily.
We could just fucking go there. like,
You
A
guys
couple
don't
hours.
want to risk
So
going past the thing again?
how long is the communication of the sending stone? Like, is it immediate or?
Yeah, it basically makes their stone buzz and relays the message to them, and then they can relay it back to you. So as long as they're conscious, they'd be able to respond.
Oh, as long as they're conscious, that's also a nice little tidbit.
And as
Yeah,
long
we
as they're
could.
conscious and the stone's in their presence.
is
I was gonna
it
say we could
a
have
one
simply
time
just be
use
like,
thing or?
"Is town safe?" to see if we even elicit a response from them.
So it's literally just it's a phone. It's just a
Yeah, it's
text
basically
phone.
sending text messages.
Oh, then yeah, we can be like, "Good morning. How are you doing, beautiful?"
So what you're telling me is you want Aurora to rizz them up?
Go for it. Why the fuck not?
Actually, I'm the one with charm person, unless she also has it.
Yep. But she has the sending stone, and charm person, you have to be able to see him.
Ah, facts.
I think I might also have higher charisma than you.
What is your
Actually,
charisma?
with
Out
his
of
new stuff,
curiosity.
you might not.
Are we doing like overall or just like boost?
Yeah, what actually factors into your rolls?
Like, what's your final charisma?
So the plus or the stat as a whole?
The stat as a whole.
It's 15 plus 2.
No, I have a 3, so I have a higher charisma than you.
So yours is 15 plus 3?
No,
He's
16.
16.
Gotcha. Barely. Barely.
Yeah, he's gotten some gear that boosts him up now.
What's your charisma saving throws?
What?
Your plus on your saving throw.
I hope we
Oh.
lost somebody.
Lost
It was
Trevor.
Trev.
Trev.
He has a +7 on his charisma saving throws.
Close.
Plus
I have a
7.
plus. I have a plus
Where do I
6
see
with a
that at?
proficiency
I don't see that.
plus 3.
At the top of your character sheet on the left-hand side is a box that says saving throws. And next to charisma, you have a blue check mark and the number 7.
I didn't understand that's what that meant.
Yeah,
All
so
this
whenever you have
time.
to do saving throws, you add that number to your roll.
Ow! I've kind of been doing it right,
Because-
but not for everything.
Yeah, so if you're proficient in a certain type of saving throw, such as charisma, you get to add your proficiency bonus to it. Otherwise, you just add your regular, whatever your modifier is.
So my proficiency my proficiencies are only in dexterity and charisma right now then, right? With the check marks.
Yep.
Got you.
But,
I guess I'm gonna try and get a
So-
hold of it and see what's happened real fast.
okay. And that gives Aurora time to figure out what message she's sending. Arena and Satori could ride together. Garbin and Ute could ride together. And then Cedric's gonna have to get a horse from Madame Eva.
I have to get a horse from Madame Ava. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you gotta go ask her for a horse.
So no flying
Probably
on
offer
fire.
her some gold. I mean, I would if I was taking a horse. Feel like we'd probably be bringing it back in just a little bit, but I still feel like you should offer some gold for letting you do it since they're traveling. That could just be me though.
So the horse.
Horses are pretty smart. We could just tell him to, because let me, the Tabaxi guy, I don't remember everybody's fucking name. He should be able to just tell the horses head back to camp, right?
I mean, have you tried messaging him to get an update?
No, but we can.
Well, he said it'd be like 20 minutes. I don't think it's been like 20 minutes yet.
I mean,
Has
during
it?
this
I remember what he's
discussion,
saying.
it might have been.
Fair? Facts? I'll give him another minute or two. See what he's found out about our horses. However you want to judge that in D&D time is up to you. Almighty DM.
Almighty.
So you receive a message through your sending stone. What kinds of horses did you have? The only horses they have here are relatively large draft horses.
Yeah,
we have-
yeah. Yep, absolutely. Whatever they got.
Should I tell him we left him at the tavern?
Well, that's where he's at. He's like,
Oh, facts.
there's 4 draft horses here that no one seems to know who they belong to.
I'm pretty
Yeah, it's
sure ours
probably
were
ours.
actually draft
Probably
horses.
us.
Let me
We'll
see.
say yeah.
Let me see if he has someone to bring them to you. If they do, I'll send you a message.
Sweet.
And within a couple of minutes, you get a confirmation. It's going to take probably about 30 to 45 minutes for him to get there, but he is sending a stable boy with the horses to your location.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
He is going to need one of those horses to get back, though, if you can spare it.
Ah, somebody
that's
has
fine.
fine steed.
Yep, I already cast mine, so I've got my horsey here. His name is Bernard, and he's adorable.
Does he like carrots?
Actually, he's a meat eater because he's one of those weird ones. Do not look him directly in the eyes. He will try to eat.
Oh, it's
I
a
need
kelpie.
Cedric to stare at him directly.
And Satori has summoned her steed as well.
Nice.
Sweet.
This is Mr. Sparkles. He is a silver and lavender colored horse. And his tail and mane have been braided.
I love that.
Love Mr. Sparkles.
I want to ride with Satori.
So, as you all are getting all of your things together, getting your armor and everything back on, Madam Ava has gotten the Vestani settled and preparing to leave. As this is happening, you hear the sound of horses coming up the gravel and see a younger boy on a horse leading 3 others up the road at a mild sprint. This is the boy from the town, for those of you who didn't catch that, with your horses.
Exciting.
Oi! Are you all expecting me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
sure are, buddy. Thank you so much. Have a gold piece on me. Yeah.
Oh, Master Leonid already took care of the payment.
Oh, then never mind.
I appreciate it. Do you mind if I keep this horse so I don't have to walk back to town? The
It's
walk's kind of
mine.
creepy.
Fuck you. It's mine. I'm kidding, honey. You're fine. Go ahead.
So now you have 3 draft horses plus your 2 steeds that you found. So you have 5 horses between the 8 characters that need
I am not
rides.
riding bitch on nobody's horse.
Okay, so Cedric's got his own horse.
I mean, he kind of has to. He's huge.
Story.
Say Aurora wants to go on Mr. Sparkles.
Yes.
I'll flop.
Okay. Nix, are you flying or are you getting on a horse?
I suppose I will fly with these beautiful wings of mine.
Okay. So that leaves Ugte and Irina get their own horses each, and you do not have to share, Garbin.
All right. Well, actually, I do.
Reggie.
Oh, Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie's got to have a seat of his own. He's part of the
Reginald.
group,
Like a
too.
crocodile,
What was
little
that?
ragdoll. He's like a little crocodile. You just like put him in like the fucking V-neck of your shirt and just let him ride there.
Like, he literally has straps on him, and I could wear him like a backpack, but I don't want.
Yes, Satori put straps on him for him.
That's just for when it gets windy out.
Yeah, you are.
What?
He's trying to talk.
There we
Uh.
go. Checkity, checkity, check, check. So my headset is finangled stupidly. Anyway, he
Yeah.
deserves to act like a person for a while. He watched over us while we slept for like all last night.
You can give him a big boy seat.
So, as you all are preparing to go, Madam Ava approaches you. Do you all have a game plan? Are you coming with us?
I walked away putting Ronan, but I didn't really catch the game plan.
Long story short, no, we're not. We're going to be heading towards somewhere. We're gonna think of it as we're going on the road, I guess. But
On
we
the
do want to
road
separate
again.
ourselves from you guys. We want to make sure you guys are safe.
Well, I feel that we should be fine. If you're looking for towns or anything, or if you're looking for any of our camps, the closest town to here outside of Barovia is going to be up in Valaki. It's north of here, just past the keep.
Past the keep.
Okay.
Oh, there goes
There goes Scott.
Strahd again.
We're
I
assuming
swear
he's an
his
NPC
power
at this rate, but
So he's asleep.
As we're having this discussion, Scott's eyes just glaze over. Just drools starts slowly dripping out of one corner of his mouth. Ah, there he goes again.
I guess we consider him under my charm for my charm person.
I was gonna say he did say
Used
that
to
we
that
could
rage.
control him if he was not available. I have that in writing.
That is fair.
That's a lot of power.
But yes, it's just past the keep. Otherwise, you're going to have to go through the marshlands and through the forest to get up to Kresk. Otherwise, if you go up through Valaki, you can take the road near the rivers and lake up there to get to Kresk from Valaki.
My thing is it's the roads would be more easier to travel, but I feel like they'd also be guarded, especially towards the keep. Whereas if we go the forest way, into the marshland, where we might still run into some really nasty shit.
So what's your game plan? She walks away as you all continue your conversation so that she can get them all on the road. At this point, it is just your group standing here with your horses, deciding on whether you're going to go left or right.
So, left path.
So if you go left, that takes you down past the gallows, and that'll circle up and around to go past the keep. If you keep to the right path, it takes you into the swampland.
As exciting as the
Mm,
swampland sounds, I don't
I was gonna say
know.
no swamp. We haven't had good experience with water.
But I do have water walk, so that could be
Do you
useful
have
there.
water breathing?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
sure
a
the
water
water.
genasi.
Oh wait, does that apply to the rest of us?
No.
I didn't think so. Because I was reading that water walk, and it actually repels targets out of the water to bring them to the surface.
Yeah, if you cast
But
it on someone who's underwater, it will shoot them to the surface.
so if
Makes sense.
something is like physically holding them, will that repel that holding force and still put them up to the surface?
No, they'll have to get out of their grapple first.
That was my question next.
We just run into
Yeah,
some Floridian gators, just death rolling on us.
that's my thought.
But
But I'm snack size. That's gonna be one hell of a time.
yeah, but you're pointy.
True.
But as you all get onto your steeds and start your ride, determining where your path is going to take you, you look forward to the road and the next step in your journey as you now have information on how to finally break the hold of Strahd. And that is where we're going to call it a night.
La.
I do wonder if it's worth visiting the gallows again.